Hey, Top Gun options traders and investors, Matt Buckley, call sign Whiz here with your Market SITREP, and through the woods, over the mountains, over the fiscal cliff we go, or however that saying goes. Yep, here we go, folks. We knew it wasn't going to get done. We've been calling it all along. There was no way that our quote-unquote leaders in Washington were going to get together and resolve anything. It's an absolute embarrassment to our country, and it's going to be bad for our economy and for our country overall in the long run. I look at my children. I look at the debt that we're saddling them with. I look at the example that we're setting. Just an absolute lack of personal responsibility or doing your job. As I said in yesterday's SITREP, as a naval aviator, served my country for 15 years. I missed Christmas. I missed Easters. I missed birthdays, anniversaries. I had friends who missed the birth of children or their firstborn. But yet our president had to jet off to Hawaii and spend Christmas break, with his family. And of course, all our congressmen and senators, they all went home. They couldn't have stayed and done the business of our nation. It's absolutely heartbreaking, folks. But let's get into it, and let's talk about what's going on in today's market. First of all, folks, I want to give you a heads up that our newest live trading service is Airborne Weekly Options. It's a live session that takes place every Friday at 1 p.m. So right in the heart of Friday options expiration. And we've been airborne in this newest service for about 3 weeks. Why do we launch it? You asked for it due to popular demand. We've been trading weekly options in a lot of our other model portfolios, our primary portfolio, and people have just kind of demanded, like, hey, can we have a separate service that just focuses on weekly options? We've been airborne for 3 weeks now in weekly options. We've gained over $3,000 in our model portfolio, and that's on about just employing about $20,000 in model portfolio haircuts. So that's a pretty decent return there, and averaging about $1,000 a week, obviously $3,000 in 3 weeks. So that's pretty good. 52 trading weeks out of a year. Not saying that past performance is any indication of future result there, obviously, but weekly options are pretty cool. They're afterburner trades. When they're going with you, they're great. When they're going against you, they're bad. So we use them to hedge potential short-term events, a Fed announcement, FDA announcement, earnings announcement, but we also use them to profit. I really like trading weekly options, iron condors, especially around gold, Chipotle, Apple, and a bunch of others. So take a test flight today. Just go to our homepage, click on the banner here, and you can get airborne on your test flight. What happened this morning, folks? Good news. It's so weird to say good news out of unemployment claims when it's up at 350,000. So obviously lower than expected. The 500 pounds we're expecting 365. We saw 350. What happened last week? Obviously, it was leading up into the holidays. Unless you're really an Ebenezer Scrooge, it's kind of hard to lay somebody off the week before Christmas, even though the financial media or the mainstream media would have you believe that business owners are all Ebenezer Scrooges. So take this number with a grain of salt, that it's quote-unquote good. But here's a bigger number that was very important today. The Conference Board's consumer confidence number came in surprisingly weak. And the previous number was actually revised down to 71.5 from 73.7. And they were looking at a 30-point or a 70.3 handle, and we came in at 65.1, folks. So market's selling off not only on this, but Senator Reid's comments about, hey, here we go over the cliff. New home sales. New home sales came in surprisingly weak. And obviously this 361K was revised down from 368K. So not the best news out of housing. And look at what happened yesterday. We talked about some good numbers out of the Case-Shiller, the S&P Case-Shiller 20 City Composite Index, up 4.3%. So, yeah, there's headlines on Comedy Central today about how new home sales are rising and all that good stuff, and how real estate's come back and it's really fueling our recovery. Sold. It cracks me up that they're touting this. New home sales rise and real estate's back, when in the same breath they talk about this, consumer confidence. We just looked at that, the Conference Board's numbers. Folks, I believe that we're chewing through the glut of inventory. Banks, that got slammed for robo-signing foreclosure forms and really being jerks with short sales, taking our bailout money, our taxpayer bailout money, and then turning around and sticking it to people that needed it the most, i.e. us, the people that bailed them out. So a lot of that has slowed, and we're starting to chew through inventory. Good numbers out of housing, I'm not going to fight. There are good numbers out of housing, but living here in South Florida, I can tell you it ain't 2006. And, people are, hey, the highest number since 2006. Folks, we're not going to see that McMansion-like bubble anytime in the near future. Okay, so take housing numbers with a grain of salt. If the consumer isn't confident, if personal spending's going down, personal income's going down, and if 4 days from now we're all going to get hit with a tax increase, and oh, by the way, if you make between 50 and 100 grand, you're going to get shafted with the largest tax increase on January 1st, but who cares, right? No, who cares about apathy? Tomorrow on our flight schedule on Friday. And again, folks, it's a holiday shortened week, so kind of light volumes. Tomorrow we're going to see Chicago PMI and pending home sales. So pending home sales tomorrow will maybe complete the picture this week of really how we're looking as far as real estate and if there's any significant turnaround. But obviously, this is the news of the week. Harry Reid, over the cliff we go. There's the president going over sideways here. And this is what we're worried about, folks. We're worried about guns. Right, not to minimize what's going on or what happened in Connecticut, but our nation is facing an entitlement crisis that our young republic, 236 years, has ever seen. We are at a crossroads where we're either going to engage in class warfare and go after the haves to give to the have-nots, or we're going to really, really take a look at everything from entitlements to increasing tax rates or revenue on people who make more. Everything should be on the table, and it's not. The president, in true Obama fashion, came out with a commission. He last year, when we lost our AAA credit rating, absolutely embarrassment to our country, made a commission, right? That's what you do in Washington. When you can't be a leader and make any decisions, you get a commission together. So Senator Simpson, Erskine Bowles got together. They put everything on the table, no politics, since Simpson wasn't running for re-election, and Erskine Bowles, I believe he was chief of staff, or he was a heavy in the Clinton White House. They didn't have any political aspirations. Came out with some great recommendations, and the president essentially put it in a circular file, i.e. the trash can, and didn't do anything. So here we go, folks. Over the cliff. Market's down 95 points right now, seeing a nice pop in the VIX up to about a 20 handle. We haven't seen a 20 handle in a long time. So we've seen an absolute spike in volatility in the past week. Great for our model portfolio here at Top Gun Options because we've been trading the heck out of the VIX and volatility. So let's take a look at the past 5 days. Again, holiday shortened week, low volume, but still, this is, going from a 16.5 to 20.5. It's a 4-point move in the VIX, folks. That's ginormous. But guess what? I have getting ready to do a live trade brief here at Top Gun Options. We're going to sell the hell out of volatility today, right? Whenever the VIX gets up into the low 20s, and we haven't seen a 22, I think the last time we saw this print, the VIX up this high, yeah, that's exactly right, was back in the summer. And we only got up to about where we are right now. And then the VIX immediately pulled back. So with us getting ready to go over the cliff, might get a little long vol, but I'm immediately going to get ready to turn around and sell it. Why? Because I think we're going to have a rip your face off rally in January. And Top Gun Options traders that trade live with me, that trade with our professional traders, know exactly what our strategic mindset is on the fiscal cliff and what's going to happen in January. So if you want to know what that is, stop by. You can check out our newest weekly option service. Just click on the banner here and you can take a test flight today. All right? Got to get ready for our live trade brief at 1 p.m. And actually, we have an advanced live trade brief going on right now with our intermediate and advanced traders. And a lot of great stuff going on here at Top Gun Options. Not a lot of great stuff going on in our country, but guess what? We're going to potentially profit on kind of the buffoonery of others and what's going on in Washington. So while I kind of I feel bad for our nation, I weep for our nation and what can potentially happen, guess what? I'm going to make some money off of it. Okay, so got to run. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back with Wealth Creation Investing's Friday market